It's the Bognor Birdman competition.
Man's desire to take to the air has lifted into many extremes. From the ridiculous to the sublime. No one, however, would have expected that this quest would lead to a tiny coastal resort in West Sussex, England, where man's dream of flight continues to captivate the imagination of the young and old.
There they go!
The Bognor Birdman competition is an event that's been going on for 24 years now. People from all over the world come to this pier right here with their homemade aviation contraptions to try to fly the 100 meters required to collect a 25,000-pound prize. That's over $40,000. Now, nobody's done it to date, but this year, things could be different. This year, the competition is fierce, as aeronautical engineers, experienced hang glider pilots, and yes, even a sheep farmer have converged on the seaside town of Bognor Regis to try to fly their way into the history books.
Well, a 100-metre flight will certainly be difficult to achieve, but I'll give it a good go.
I'm an experienced hang gliding pilot, and I'm going to show these old-timers what it's all about here.
This plane behind me, tomorrow it's going to kick your hang glider guy's butts, and you're not going to know what's hit you.
No, I've never flown in Birdman, but they haven't seen this machine. I can do the 100 metres.
I wish you luck. I wish all the other competitors luck. But I hope I have more luck.
I'm in it for the fun of it, and I don't take it too seriously.
The rules are pretty simple.
No rockets, no helium, no jets, no water-powered propulsion, no stored energy, no rubber bands, all this sort of thing.
All a competitor needs is a bit of aviation know-how, a touch of showmanship, and a fairly well-developed sense of humor.
I think the purpose of the competition and the public's point of view, the less brain power you've got, the better it's going to be.
Now, the Bognor Birdman competition seems pretty much particular to Britain. I mean, it's kind of a quirky event. You've got people coming from all over the world. Has this got a British stamp on it?
Look, there are two things here. You don't have to be mad to be here, but it helps. That's the first thing. The second thing is, the British love to make fools of themselves in public. There's no doubt about it. It's part of our national character.
Am I seeing things, or is that a pair of giant ears?
It is. A pair of giant ears attached to a young lady.
Very nice.
The great spirit of the Birdman rally is lunacy. Everybody wants to be an idiot and be applauded for it. And they like me, love to hear laughter. Simple as that.
Now, not all birdmen are created equal. The competition is divided into three categories. You got the kingfishers for the funny factor. Put on a silly suit, make me laugh, raise some money for charity. In the Leonardo da Vinci category, the most innovative design wins. But at the top of the pecking order are the magnificent flyers. Now, these guys are serious entries with the best chance of going the distance. You got hand-built hang gliders, cutting-edge airfoils, and a few human-powered aircraft that, well, defy description.
Okay, here goes that propeller. Look at this.
Look at that.
Now, I'm standing here with Ron Freeman and David Bradshaw. Now, David Bradshaw is the current distance holder, and Ron Freeman has won this event the past 4 out of 5 times. You've won it 3 times, right, David?
That's right.
Right, so you'd say there's a friendly rivalry, would you say, here?
I think so. I mean, Ron's an experienced pilot, probably got more airtime than me on hang gliders.
Now, what kind of technique is involved in hang gliding?
Well, it's all about weight shift. You're hanging from the centre of gravity and you're controlling your airspeed, and they're very manoeuvrable machines.
It's all about knowing the right time, you know, when to take off and when not to take off.
Right, I got you. Now, you're wearing your helmet now. Do you plan on doing something with that?
Well, this is psychological. I've never ever gone onto this pier. I've never stood on this platform without wearing the helmet that I've won in.
Really?
I always do it. I'm very superstitious that way.
I understand. Now, some people say this is Ron Freeman's pier. He's a 4-time winner and defending champion. He's a confident, dedicated hang glider. He can calculate lift ratios and angles of attack with the best of them.
Just getting a mental fix on the 100 meters. That's it there, the white and red boy.
But he says it's actually quite simple. Perfect practice makes perfect.
When my dad first taught me, he taught me on 2 bulls.
But juggling practice?
Well, I've been doing this since I was about 5, 6 years old. My dad was a high wire walker in Billy Smart Circus. And he always told me, if you learn to juggle and you've got good balance and coordination, you'll be good at anything that you attempt. And I think that was really, really good advice. When you're doing the Birdman competition, you've only got 10 seconds to get a lot of things right. So if your balance and coordination and reflex is all in harmony and everything's going right, the 10 seconds feels like 20 seconds. When I stand on the edge of the pier in the Birdman and the glider's connected to me, the wingtips of that glider feels like my fingertips, and it's all down to reflex, and I'm quite sure the juggling helps me a great deal. A great deal. I'm certainly not going to stop doing it.
This doesn't look so bad. You don't think I'll do it, do you? Stick around, see if I fly or flop. We'll be right back.
Tuesday, get extreme. Cross the Bering Strait on a 50-mile bridge. Live in a city in the sky, twice the height of today's tallest building. Travel from New York to Paris in less than an hour on an underwater train. The engineering projects that were once deemed impossible are here and under construction today. Extreme Engineering, Tuesday at 9 on Discovery Channel.
Barclays Small Business Specialists help more than 1,000 businesses start up every week. The most relaxing way to own a car? That'll be the Daewoo.
We British love our tea, but not the stains it leaves. An independent test centre set out to discover who would remove them better, the leading branded competitor or Finish. Superior cleaning on black tea stains every time, so you can enjoy tea time anytime. New Finish 3-in-1 Brilliant.
Darling, I'm just off to find myself. Ah, there I am.
If only everything was as simple as BT Together's new pricing options. National calls now cost the same as local calls do. No wonder so many people are coming back to BT. Reconnect for free. Call 0800 800 810.
Fact. Sometimes it's good to break with tradition. Fact. The new Dettol Easy Mop does more than just clean. Its antibacterial spray kills 99.9% of bacteria for a truly hygienic finish. New Dettol Easy Mop. It's a breakthrough. Fact.
In an uncertain climate, choose Barclays Business Banking. They have more specialists in more industries than any other bank.
Exclusively in The Sun and the News of the World this week.
Back in about 82, 83, I saw a clip on the TV. It was a small advert, and I saw these like ducks and people dressed in pianos throwing themselves off the pier. They were landing in the sea. And I've always sort of thought that's something I would like to experience. That's when I decided, right, this is for me. I really feel that this 100 metres can be done, and a hang glider is the machine that can do it. The organisers of the Birdman competition know a hang glider can fly the 100 metres, so they've asked us to clip our wings. We clip about 3 foot off each wingtip, which involves a lot of work, getting the sail right, getting it balanced. It really does make things awkward, but I found a way of getting around that. That's something else that I really enjoy about the hang glider. When you take it off your car, it just seems like a floppy wet lettuce. And then all of a sudden the buttons go in, and then you start checking things, and when you pull the tension on the sail, it's like an umbrella, putting an umbrella up. It comes alive. It becomes a flying machine. This actual glider has won Bognor 3 times. So I think if any glider deserves the 100 metres, this glider does. And then when you pick it up on the airframe and you feel the wind under the wing, and it feels about 65 pounds in the bag, but when you pick the glider up in a gentle breeze, it goes weightless. What an awesome feeling that is. In practice, I've done 20 flights of 100 metres plus. Biggest problem with the pier is there's no lift off the pier. Now, if you get a 10-mile-an-hour wind on a hill, you'll go up because of the wind rising up the face of the hill. On the pier, that doesn't happen because the wind goes under the pier as well as over. So as soon as you step off, you drop. So you've got to run real fast and convert as much lift as possible before you drop. And then it's just a case of penetrating into a headwind. The weather today is just absolutely unbelievable. I mean, as you can see, it's just a nice breeze, conditions are perfect, 20-foot sand dune. I've done 3 flights over 120 metres today, which I'm really, really pleased with. Get these conditions on the day at Bognor, I'll do the 100 metres.
You feel you're going to reach the 100-metre mark today?
Well, I think there's also a lot of pressure with expectations, and a lot of people aren't aware how important the wind is. If the wind's not in the right direction, it really complicates matters.
So if the wind is blowing towards you, chances are you're not going to be able to take off.
Oh, no, that's ideal.
Oh, it is?
As long as it's not too strong.
Yeah.
Is there ever like a sudden gust of wind that can throw you off? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you never know. It's always very unpredictable, am I right?
Yeah.
You have to pick your moment to launch. It's very crucial. As Ron said earlier, you have to really pick your moment. Wait for the right wind speed. If the wind speed's in the right direction, you're just going to wait for just the right time and then you go, and you have to be committed. For quite a long time, I've had inspiration from James Bond films where there's been flying machinery, special gadgets and so on. And for quite a long time, I've always had that desire to fly. And when they started having this event in Bognor, I kind of thought, well, I should give it a go. And the first time that I entered was the time that I did the record flight. The main obstacles for achieving the 100 metres is the weather. There have been times in recent years where I've had an easterly wind, which has been coming behind when I've taken off the ramp, and that's disastrous. You have to have the wind coming in front of you. Well, the craft that I'm using is very high performance. I have a plastic glossy Mylar leading edge, which is very sleek, very aerodynamic. So I'm going to obviously have to attack the launch, be really committed.
Do you guys have secrets you're not revealing here? I mean, obviously you've got a strategy. You've got a strategy. You've got a strategy. You both want to come away the winner. He does and you don't.
Well,
he's saying that.
I think he's just saying that.
I know he knows that.
That's the guy you got to watch out for him. I wish you both good luck and no nosediving today.
No, not tomorrow. The forecast looks good.
Yeah, well, let's see if we can reach the 100-meter mark. Good luck, guys. Ron.
Thanks very much,
David.
Cheers.
You've got some nice feathers on there. They're going to keep you nice and warm when you hit the sea.
Well, I hope so. That's the effect.
So it's a tea towel, a jester's hat, and a pair of tights. What's it made from?
Bamboo.
Bamboo?
Yeah, it could be a little bit alarming on entry.
Some of the Birdmen are just here to have fun and raise money for charity. But for others, this is no day at the beach. They're super smart. They got degrees in aeronautical engineering. They build and test scale models. They use computer-aided design. But it's not about the money, it's about the dream of flight. Let's meet some of the real Birdmen.
Well, I'm an aeronautical engineer, and I work for an aircraft manufacturer in the UK.
Seemed like a very good way for a group of friends to actually get together and try and do something as a team. When we looked at the competition, we saw that the best people were using hang gliders, so we've deliberately designed something that's actually going to hopefully be more efficient to fly than a hang glider.
Some of the unique features of our design, perhaps the main one is that the pilot is actually above the wing rather than below the wing, as you find in a hang glider.
That the wing can actually fly much closer to the water, and this, in theory, gives us quite a big an advantage, because the closer the plane gets to the sea, the more efficient it becomes, and the drag gets reduced.
It's great to be able to actually design something and then actually see it being made and make it myself and then see the finished result. I mean, at work, you design stuff and you never see it even made, let alone get on the aeroplane. And this is the first thing I've really sort of had a good go at designing and now we're going to fly it. If we win the prize money, how do we split it up? I mean, probably we should just split it equally because we all had pretty much a similar input into building it.
That's the general consensus, that we're going to share it equally, but as soon as Phil gets the paycheck, there's no real knowing what's going to happen.
All right, that's enough. Don't overdo it.
But for every magnificent flyer, there's a kingfisher, a fun-loving jumper just out to make a splash for charity.
I like a challenge. I like doing something different, and this is a perfect opportunity to do both of those things. I also like the fact that it's been going for over 20 years, and in that time nobody's achieved the 100-metre aim. I grew up in West London, over Heathrow flight path. So I was always amazed by these big silver beasts with all their noise and their power, and always wanted to get involved in that. That's what drew me to study aeronautical engineering. I've been a flight engineer for the last 5 years. I've got a degree in aeronautical engineering, and I also fly paragliders. Hopefully my paragliding's got me used to throwing myself off large things and trusting the aircraft. I've designed it as you would design a full-size proper aircraft. I've gone through all the stages from computer design through to flight testing of a model, and I've now built the real thing.
So far, hang gliders have flown 80, 90 metres maximum. I think that's as far as they're going to get realistically. This is, I like to think it's better aerodynamically. So given the good conditions on a good day, it should outfly the hang gliders.
The original intention was to flight test the complete aircraft, but time is now against me. So the first flight will be the X-only flight. In this competition, you get one shot or one go only. You've got 6 minutes in which to launch. If you don't launch in that time period, you lose your chance. So therefore, the pressure is on.
The servos aren't working correctly, so I've got elevator control, but no rudder control.
I imagine I'm going to be scared. I like to be cool and calm and collected, but realistically, I'm going to be quite nervous. My friends are there, my family are there, they have expectations of me. My greatest concern is reaching the end of the takeoff platform, not going fast enough, stalling and crashing into the sea. And that's a big possibility.
Now, I'm standing here with Kurt and Mark, who are the first Americans to enter the competition, am I right?
That's correct.
Okay,
Absolutely.
So you guys came all the way from America to enter the Bognor Birdman competition.
Well, not just to enter, but to actually win the money. Mine is an American bald eagle.
Wow.
Design, as you can see here.
Wow, no, that's amazing. That looks authentic. I mean, that looks like an eagle. And with an upper, look at how the wind has already taken the feathers. It wants to fly on its own.
It wants to fly. We're actually holding it down right now. It would pretty much take off on
I'm
by
very
itself.
excited about this. Kurt, can we take a look at your? Oh wow, look at that.
It starts with the gold go-go boots.
Look at those. Now those obviously make you taller, so you've got an advantage already.
5 inches
you're higher up
over everyone else.
Now,
Absolutely.
can you run in those things?
Oh, I can run. I can dance. I can prance.
Do you practice?
Oh, sure.
You wear them around the house?
And the audience. Next, we have my tail.
I'm sorry, that just looks like it's going to cause a lot of drag. I just don't see how you're going to get any airtime with that.
Well, there is a little drag involved.
So now you're actually up on the platform. What does it feel like?
Well, I actually just took my glasses off, and it's kind of nice because I can't see how far down I have to go.
Here he is, everybody. Give him a wave. It's Kurt. Come all the way from the States.
There he is.
Here he is. Do you want your music now, Kurt?
I don't think I have time for it.
Yeah, put his music on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm confused. When did Bognor Birdman turn into La Cage aux Folles?
I'm jealous of birds. I'm jealous of birds who sit on the fence out there and just because they want to, they can squirt up in the air and sit on the fence and then fly to the nearest tree. Well, I can't do that. I jolly well like to. But the joy of it is in the thinking, the contemplating and the working of it all out. So I got slow motion pictures of bats from the Bat Society, and I tried forever to get slow motion pictures of swans and everything, just to see how they fly. And I mean, always interested in flying. The design is not based on any particular model at all. If anything, it's based on a Chinese kite. The Chinese make colossal kites, 100 feet square, and it takes 100 men to hold them on the ground. And it's got to be built indoors because the slightest wind will blow it away, quite literally. But if there's been problems and difficulties, it's been absence of space. on the launching pad, nothing which is important at all. It's just the sheer fun of being there and watching all the other idiots, and I'm one of them, but if you get somewhere, then that's marvellous. What I dream of is that I've just jumped off the pier, I'm hanging from the thing, and there's a gigantic updraft, and it took me up a couple of 100 feet up in the air, and then I can control glide a couple of miles. But it's a dream, it's a dream. It's just a dream. But the seagulls do it, you see, seagulls do it.
Got to pull it forward a couple of foot. We've got to get...
While Robert ponders the poetry of the skies, more practical birdmen like Jake Frith favor the down-to-earth approach. With a sophisticated delta wing design, an aluminum frame, and a rear propeller for propulsion, his craft may be destined for greatness.
Okay, here goes that propeller. Look at this.
We've got the green light.
Now watch this go.
There we go.
Uh-oh.
Why I do this project is creativity. It boils down to that single word. I have a very, very fertile imagination that just never stops. I have an aerospace background and I have a sort of thinking science background. So it was a case of applying all these ideas I had and coming up with a craft. There was a man-powered aeroplane called the Gossamer Albatross, which way back in, I think, 1978 or something, actually crossed the channel. This appeared to me to be very efficient and a very good idea, a very good design solution. And so it was then just a case of stringing it out on CAD, drawing it out to the right sizes, the right dimensions, skinning it and rendering it so I could see what it would look like. It's effectively a hang glider type wing. Then in terms of seating position, I toyed with a few concepts, a few ideas, but by far and away the best was a slightly reclining seating position, slap bang in the middle, with pedals sticking out of the front. I have a propeller mounted on a pylon at the back and a drop-off undercarriage, launching trolley effectively, that will then scoot into the water once I fall off the end of the pier, hopefully fly off the end of the pier. You can refine the design further. But having built the scale model, I proved that the design was stable. I made sure that the concepts were going to be right before actually launching into the final construction. It's a day and a half before the event, and I still don't have a bicycle crank. So obstacles vary from the logistics such as that to the other logistics. There's a huge wing in our living room here. The weather is a bit rubbish, so we're inside instead of outside. If it's raining outside, it's very difficult to work on a wing because the other wing is in the room as well. And so there are obstacles all over the place that can trip you up. And it's really a case of just knuckling down, just grinding through these obstacles to make sure that they don't become a factor.
Not worried about damaging the suit at all, then?
Well, I have a rather good dry cleaner. Hopefully you should be able to deal with it on Monday.
Excellent. Yes. OK. And how far are you going to go, do you think?
I think we're going all the way. Yes, I think we're going to take the 100-metre mark today.
Well, we wish you luck with that. You've got a green light.
There they go. They're Badford and Bingley.
I'm not a calculations man. If it looks right, basically it is right for my part. Basically, it's a machine that I built. It's an aluminium frame with polystyrene supports and a fabric covering. I have incorporated a mechanism to drive a propeller. I had a normal set of pedals and a crank that inevitably had to sit between my legs. And it fairly quickly impressed itself on me that falling into the water with all that rubbish between your legs is a pretty dangerous thing to do. So I had to come up with another way to be able to power the propeller via a system of cables and pulleys.
Okay, clear propeller.
Which is pretty unusual, if not to say unique, I think. It's called the Guillemot Chick. The reason for that is the first flight of a guillemot is a pretty hair-raising affair, and it's a case of all or nothing, really. They get one shot at it, and that's it.
The Guillemot Chick, the Carbon Condor, the House of Heron, Disposable Hero, and the Bognosaurus. These are names that, after tomorrow's event, may join the celebrated ranks of aviation legends like the Wright Flyer, the Spirit of St. Louis, and the X-1. Or they may not. Either way, the Birdmen of Bognor are a rare breed.
We're a flock of ducks, I think people do this sort of thing. But they're all very interested in flying.
Certainly this event attracts eccentrics. It's got a reputation for that.
9'4", you're fine to fly. Thank you very much, that was close. Our pleasure.
But I'm taking a more scientific approach to it.
This is my window in front of me. There's the sea, there are the two boys, there are the pedals. Oh, bit too much sea, oh, not enough sea, oh, that's about right. You know, it's that process that's going to be going on.
Mixture of excitement, adrenaline and sheer terror. A fairly heady cocktail, you know.
In a way, I'm sort of jealous that Phil's getting to fly the plane, but in another sense, I'm quite glad I'm not.
If it crashes, it crashes. I'm not going to try and save it just for the sake of rescuing it. It's going to have to be how well can I fly it and how far does it get, and if it gets trashed and it breaks, then we just have to recover the wreckage.
We'll be right back to see if these daring men and their flying machines can break the 100-meter barrier and fly away with over $40,000. Don't go away.
While $25 million is on offer for his capture, Saddam may be paying for US and British troops to be targeted. So who's holding the cards? The story of US attempts to find one of the most elusive men in the world. A portrait of the man who still haunts Iraq. Hunting Saddam, tonight at 10, exclusively on Discovery Channel.
The biggest Egypt week yet in 7 days.
You can now enjoy an Astra with 3 years 0% finance on selected models. Enjoy the ride. Astra from Vauxhall.
Your colour should look as natural as nature intended. Garnier Bell Colour with natural ingredients understands how to work with your hair's own tones and highlights. So whether you colour to change or just to cover grey, you'll always have the most natural colour for you. Garnier Bell Colour.
Garnier. Burning. Acid heartburn. Gaviscon Advance. Coating, cooling, soothing. That's better.
Gaviscon Advance, our advanced answer to acid heartburn.
Every month, thousands of homeowners benefit by arranging their loan with Ocean Finance. Many simply wish to consolidate their existing debts or raise money for that special purchase.
We applied for £12,500 for home improvements.
We decided to get one loan and pay off our debts so that we ended up with only one interest rate and one repayment, which is smaller than the three put together.
And they said if I wanted to, I could clear it whenever I needed to.
With Ocean Finance, I found that there wasn't anything hidden from me at all.
They were very helpful as well, very friendly.
I would recommend it to anybody. Ocean Finance will consider whatever problem, whatever your circumstances, talk to Ocean Finance first. And I have about 3 of my friends.
So, for that homeowner loan, call Ocean Finance now on 0800 858 858. That's 0800 858 858.
So we're not talking some deep spiritual cleansing.
St. Ives Apricot Scrub contains a unique blend of soothing Swiss botanicals and 100% natural exfoliants.
Those little scrubbers
That slough off dull, dead skin, so I get smoother, healthier looking, brighter skin. Maybe this is deep spiritual cleansing.
Leading an active life is great for your body, tough on your hair.
The Answer VO5 shampoos and conditioners with gentle wheat proteins, developed to be our best ever formulas. They nourish to leave you with beautifully shiny hair.
If VO5 can make hair so shiny, imagine what it can do for you. So whoever you are, shine.
Welcome back to the Bognor Birdman competition. You'll see every design imaginable on the pier at Bognor. Some are serious, some are cutting edge, and some, well, look like fashion mistakes. From hang gliders to hip boots, the Bognor Birdman have a little bit of everything. The secret to flight sounds simple. Airflow creates an area of low pressure on top of the wing and high pressure on the bottom of the wing. It's those timeless battles, you know, lift versus gravity, thrust versus drag. But, of course, eventually, without external power, every aircraft will stall. Of course, I didn't really have to learn any of this stuff because, well, I'm really good looking. But for these guys, it could be the difference between hero and zero.
People say, yeah, you're doing the Birdman, you must be nuts. But, you know, it's no different, really, from jumping off the edge of a cliff on a hang glider, you know.
Gary Deere is one of a handful of hang glider pilots competing here at the Bognor Birdman competition. He's logged over 500 hours in the air with both his Delta wing glider and his new micro light.
It's a complete freedom from all sort of like issues on the ground. You can land these micro aircraft in a small field, so you know it's really accessible. It's great fun. You can take 2 people up and you can venture across wherever you want to go, really. There's just such a rush about flying, you know, in any shape or form, really, and that's real seat of your pants flying. You have to be a little bit nuts, but then you have to do any sort of hang gliding or anything like that, really, I guess.
The main threat in terms of designs are probably the hang gliders, and they all tend to make the same kind of distance, 50, 60, 70 metres.
They're designed just to fold up into a tube that goes on the roof of a car, and they could be aerodynamically a lot better than they are, but they lose a lot of their performance because they have to be stowable.
People who believe that they can just take the competition because they've done calculations, I think it's quite amusing. I think the proof is in the eating, and we'll see tomorrow. I think it'll separate the men from the boys.
One chap looked at my hang glider and he sort of said that was cheating. And I says, well, how long has it taken you to build that? He says, oh, about 6 weeks. And his jaw fell when I said, well, I've been on 4 to 6 months building this.
The thing is, we all know that hang glider will fly, and so for me, I need to be doing something other than that. I don't feel I'm proving anything if I go and buy an off-the-peg machine.
No, it's not off-the-shelf glider. It's one I've designed. I've built it myself, so I'm not been off and bought one to take off this pier with.
Duncan MacDonald, a sheep farmer from England's Peak District, may know more about livestock than lift ratios, but he's determined to go 100 meters at Bognor.
I thought I had enough broken bits of hang glider in the barn from past experiences, shall we say. So I collected all these bits together and did a few sketches, and then went to the pub and had a drink and thought about it, and then I just sort of started hacking away at things, and it seemed to happen. The hang gliders that have been used in the past have had king posts, which is like a post on top with cables that support the upper part of the wing. Well, the internal frame inside my glider has got these carbon fibre cross tubes. So the posts, the cables, all that's gone. It's completely flat on top. So all the air resistance from all those cables on top has gone. This topless design should be much more efficient in the air. I've got a good chance of this with a topless hang glider because it's not been used before.
All I can say is I'm extremely impressed. He's managed to design the wing where he's getting rid of the king post and the wires, which is effectively called a topless. It's very, very streamlined, very clean. It's going to be a hard machine to beat.
Going topless may prove to have its advantage for MacDonald. But Ron Freeman, last year's winner, may also have some tricks up his sleeve. Or under his crash helmet.
One day I was sitting up on top of the roof on the chimney, and that's about 35 feet off the ground. So what I was doing was I was visualizing 100 meters. Where does 100 meters look like from this height? So I was trying to visualize, get a mental sort of vision of just how far I've got to fly.
Oh, Ronnie, what are you doing over there?
Hello, Rupert. I'm just checking the weather.
When you come back, you'll be aboard.
Yeah, I wish. Me being a hang glider pilot, I think I'm strange anyway. Well, I couldn't tell them what I was really doing, you know, but I think they bought it. Well, I think they did. That's great. Touch your right now. Touch your left. Oh, it started when I was about 5, 6 years old. My dad used to make paper aeroplanes. Then I just took it on from there, making paper airplanes, trying to make them fly better, further. Then I was about 6.5, 7. I remember vividly my mum took me to see Walt Disney, Peter Pan, and that was it. When I saw him flying around the bedroom, I thought, that's what I want to do. I've got to be able to fly around like that. And hang gliding's the closest thing to actually flying like Peter Pan. Look at me bar position, where's my hands? When I'm watching the actual videos of my flights, I actually freeze frame every shot because the flight only lasts 10 seconds. And you don't see enough in that 10-second jump. So I've got to stop it and analyze my body position, my head position, my elbows. So it's really, really important. Watch this. Look at my legs. It's all drag. Look where my feet are. I've jumped off in 30-mile-an-hour winds. I've jumped off in tailwinds, crosswinds, no wind at all. So it's really, really good to look at all, not just the one flight. I don't look at last year's flight. I look at them all because you don't know what the weather's going to be like on Sunday. And if you study all these different conditions, that helps you to come up with the right answers at the right time.
You see all those people behind me? They're here for one thing, and that is to see the Birdmen fly, or drop like stones. Either way, the Bognor Birdman competition has put this tiny coastal town in southern England on the map. For the last 24 years, aspiring flyers have risked life, limb, and reputation by flinging themselves off a 35-foot high pier. And in the process, they could collect 25,000 pounds, which is over $40,000, or wind up headfirst in the English Channel.
I think you'll admit that the conditions are excellent for flying. If you're going for the jackpot prize, you cannot win it with a wind over 20 knots. We will let you know what the wind speed is. All the equipment is up there.
Are these ideal conditions?
These are ideal conditions. It's a nice day. The wind is westerly, straight onto the pier. There's a nice, pleasant breeze that's helping you fly, because you'll get more airspeed because you'll be flying straight into the wind.
But why would you get more airspeed if you're flying straight into the wind? Don't you want the wind behind you?
No, because if you've got to make up the speed of the wind before you start flying if it was behind you, and everyone would end up straight in the water.
I see. Okay, so you need wind to keep you aloft.
Yeah, if it was too windy, no one would go anywhere. But this is about ideal.
The weather today here at Bognor is pretty good. The wind's about 15 knots straight onto the pier. We couldn't really have hoped for much better weather today. It's great. We've got a really good chance. We've got the right plane. It's just up to me to do a good launch now.
It's a vain effort to make this aerodynamic. Today looks absolutely perfect for the conditions. I may even get to the 100-metre mark, wind the thermal a little bit, carry on a bit further, and maybe come and land back on the pier. She'll do it.
And you're ready to take the jump?
Oh, I'm ready to go.
You ready to go?
Wait. The wind's perfect.
Now, are you going to jump head first?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna dive out there straight like this.
So in other words, you're going to jump because you have no confidence in your wings.
No, I have perfect confidence. As long as I get the high pressure underneath and the low pressure on top.
I mean, those look like real wings.
Look at that.
They look like real wings.
They're ready to fly.
No, you are. You're definitely ready to fly.
I would also like, and this is a very serious note, to remind you that if you are not fit to drive a car, you are not fit to fly off this pier.
Practice and planning are vital for these competitors. But no amount of number crunching will guarantee a record-breaking flight. The biggest variable in the equation is the weather. And already, conditions are beginning to change.
We wish you all the best. Please, whatever you do, don't panic.
Here they go!
You know, you were supposed to soar. What happened?
I had a little trouble with the wind. It wasn't the type of wind that I usually like.
But I noticed, I watched your drop, you didn't flap.
Yeah, I think that was a big problem.
Yeah,
it's the not flapping part.
You got to jump, flap, soar.
But clearly, it was more about the wind. If I had the right wind, I had 100 meters, maybe 150. I was guessing earlier.
So you basically blame the wind. It's all the wind's fault.
It's absolutely the wind's fault. There's nothing I can do about that.
These machines are quite big, and some of them, I believe, are quite difficult to control and steer. And they don't want winds as strong as this.
Looks as if the wind's a little bit strong for today, but it's going to be the same for everyone. So there we go. We'll just give it a shot.
We designed the craft to be very light winds, sort of 5, 10, 15 mile an hour, but no more than about 15. It's gusting 20, 25. And I'm just, in reality, first time jumper and all that, having taken a good long hard look at it, I'm not happy. I'm here with Adam Kelly, who is an aeronautical engineer, a civilian, but he works for the RAF. Am I right? I keep hearing people complain about conditions today. All the other pilots are talking about it's too windy, and their craft is made for winds that are, say, 4 knots, 5 knots, and the last we checked, wind was blowing at about 20 knots.
That's right, yes.
How are you going to deal with that?
Well, ideally, I'd like a wind speed of between 7 and 10 knots, just to get away from the pier, allow me to fly away safely. Unfortunately, the wind is too strong today, so I'll be able to take off okay, but I don't think I've got much penetration to the wind itself.
Is there a chance the wind could blow your craft backward?
If I start to fly backwards, I'll be wide and I'll just dive towards the sea.
Oh, you'll dive toward the sea. Are you a little nervous? You can be honest with me.
A little, yes.
Do you need a hug?
Yes.
You too? A hug may be all that Adam Kelly needs to propel him off the Bognor Pier. But as the winds kick up to a scary 20, 25 knots, other birdmen begin taking drastic measures.
What am I doing? Chopping holes in my beautiful craft. Plan A was to have it on a launching trolley, about 1 metre high, to give me another metre above the deck, obviously, which would have been great for light winds. It would have been absolutely superb. However, in the conditions we've got now, it's just not going to be feasible. So we've chopped the propeller away, which always was in the plan if it got windy. And now we basically have a similar device to a hang glider. Have you let go? I have let go. Bloody hell! It flies!
Coming up now is Henry Morris, flying in a power-assisted glider. It's a nice looking one, this.
Due to the wind, we did a bit of surgery with the big saw. So what you see is a bit of a cut-down version. So I'm determined to get off the pier, for some strange reason.
When you ready?
Someone give me a countdown or I'm not going off!
It wants a countdown, everybody, I think. 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen.
Henry Morris. Now, how far do you think you flew just then?
I think it was about 12 metres.
12 metres?
The water impact was hard.
It was hard.
Boy, was it hard.
Really?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I've got, I think, a bit of
look at that.
Bit of blood to show for it.
Well, that's...
The craft has got a carbon spar, and I just hit my chin on it as it hit the water. But I'm happy with that. It was a lot of fun.
It's 50 feet down, there's a headwind of 20 knots, but the only...
For most jumpers, Bognor Birdman is all about fun. But for others, the winds are no laughing matter. They're a serious threat.
I've never seen a flying...
It was a bit hairy this morning, somehow or other. Inexplicably, the plane expanded an inch and the bolts wouldn't go through the holes. So it's just inexplicable.
Now this is Robert Hiscott. He's about to jump. He's 70 years old and by his own description, fit as a fiddle. Now the wind is blowing so strong it looks like it's going to blow him backwards. So I'm pretty nervous for him. The guy is gutsy, that's all I can tell you.
There's seagulls flying over the top at this moment, doing exactly what I dream of doing. That's it, they're just hovering above the roof here, like that, and every so often they lift like that. Now, if that happens to me, I can go on up and up and up and up, and eventually tip the plane down and glide for miles. But I doubt it.
Oh, disastrous crash. The wing has just ripped apart the wing. Oh no. It's holding up before our eyes. I think he deserves a round of applause to get this far. To make a courageous decision like that. Well done, Robert.
What about what happened? Very disappointed, yeah, of course. The wind was just too strong for it. Like as you saw, it was twisted up like a piece of cardboard.
After Robert's disaster, other magnificent flyers are quick to change their plans.
The weather's too bad, going to destroy the machine for no good reason.
Absolutely fantastic costume.
I'd much sooner use the machine when the weather's more reasonable. Certainly like to come back next year, give it another try. All right, hope for better weather.
Adam Kelly agrees. He's also decided not to risk trashing his craft. But he still intends to jump off that pier. Funny what little hug will do.
Tell us about this craft, Adam, can you?
My original design had a big windstone, just going to be too dangerous in these weather conditions. So I've got a plan B, my launching dolly.
Right, a cross between a skateboard and something else we described it as just now. It does look like a coffee table. Here he goes, launching as I speak. The coffee table didn't last well.
But some fearless flyers are determined to chase that 100-meter record, weather permitting or not.
We're going to go for it. As long as we get it to the top, it should be quite light. It'll be lifting itself. And all I need to do is just run off and it'll be flying.
The time is rapidly running out here. I think obviously we want to get through these Birdmen as soon as we can. The wind conditions as they are. So is he going to go? Yes, he is. He's going. There he goes. Look at that.
Were you scared up there?
It was difficult to control it because it was so windy.
Right.
And one wing wanted to go up more than the other.
Now, do you blame the fact that you didn't get very far on your design or on the winds?
I think it was more to do with the wind.
It was?
Yeah, it was gusting and it was very difficult to hold it level. Although it flew, it looked like it was going down quite steep because it was getting blown back. So it was actually flying and I could feel the air under it.
So you were flying?
Yeah, we were flying, of course,
right.
yeah.
Do you think maybe your helmet caused some drag?
I don't, no, not really, no.
No?
No.
Philip Wright has taken the lead, but there are more daring birdmen waiting eagerly in the wings.
At least I made it.
So far, it's been a day of super splashes and valiant attempts, but no one has broken the 100 meters. The record is still out there, and so is the cash. Stay with us to see what happens. It's cash or crash on the Bognor Birdman competition.
In Edwardian society, you are either upstairs or downstairs.
You could end up living in an emotional desert here.
A family of 5 and a staff of 13 will travel back to 1905.
So stupid.
What's the matter with the young ones?
They will experience firsthand the most unequal chapter of British history.
My staff are happy. Yes, they're absolutely happy.
It was completely upstairs, downstairs the minute they stepped through the door.
Edwardian Country House, Saturday at 6:30 on Discovery Channel.
This is no place to have teeth sensitive to hot and cold, unless you have a secret.
New Colgate Sensitive with potassium citrate combines unbeatable pain relief for sensitive teeth with complete Colgate care and a great fresh taste.
With Colgate Sensitive, I feel no pain, and I have fresh breath and healthy white teeth. It's a pleasure to use every day.
New Colgate Sensitive. You'll want to use it every day.
With BT broadband in your home, the internet is brought to life, making education a lot more fun. To connect for free and get 1 month's free rental, call 0800 800 060.
Time to try the new Cif Cream, our best ever tough cleaning formula. New Cif Cream. Don't wimp out.
Discover new double extension from L'Oreal.
Lose short weak lashes and get lashes that feel stronger and look 60% longer.
The first two-step mascara from L'Oreal with Ceramide R. One end fortifies, the other lengthens, with proven spectacular results.
Weak lashes feel stronger, short lashes look longer.
New double extension mascara from L'Oreal.
It's the power tool to make your lashes feel stronger and look 60% longer. Because you're worth it.
Mondeo. One of the safest places to be. Tuesday, get extreme. Cross the Bering Strait on a 50-mile bridge. Live in a city in the sky, twice the height of today's tallest building. Travel from New York to Paris in less than an hour on an underwater train. The engineering projects that were once deemed impossible are here and under construction today. Extreme Engineering, Tuesday at 9 on Discovery Channel.
Coming up, we're moving from birdmen to bikers as we meet the man who can make some two-wheeled dreams come true.
Welcome back to the Bognor Birdman competition. We're still waiting for somebody to put together a record-setting jump. They're perched on the platform and ready to go. Only two options left: fly or swim. Right now, Phil Wright's Bognosaurus is the leader, having flown 14.9 meters. A far cry from the 100-meter target. But the hang gliders have yet to fly. And there are only a few birdmen left, but they're the favorites. If anybody can set a distance record, it's one of these guys. Gary Deere is an experienced hang glider pilot. He shouldn't have any problem with these wind conditions. He's wearing one of our cameras on his helmet to give us a bird's eye view of his flight. Or maybe it was more like a stone's eye view. He's got his crew steadying his wings. They're waiting for a lull in the wind, it looks like. But I don't think one is going to come. Gary Deere, good stuff. Looks like you're the leader so far.
So far.
Now that's a helmet cam?
That's right, yeah.
He gave us a bird's eye view of the Birdman competition.
You guys can see what's going on.
Now what happened there? How far did you fly, do you think?
I made it to the first buoy, which is 20 meters, 25 meters.
20 meters, that's pretty good. I mean, considering everybody else has either been copping out or they
it's
just
pretty windy today. The problem is penetrating into the wind.
So it's not ideal for hang gliding or anything else?
It's all right for a hang glider, but for some of the lighter craft, it's a bit of a problem. But there's a couple more guys up there with hang gliders who are good guys, so
you think
they might well have it.
My uncle David Bradshaw's going to win the Birdman Rally.
It's a nerve-wracking thing to strap yourself in to a hang glider craft weighing 60, 70 pounds and to actually jump off of a pier into the sea. So nerves are a big factor. I find once I get onto the platform and I'm ready to launch, everything goes into slow motion and it all kind of goes autopilot.
That's David Bradshaw. He's the current distance holder at an incredible 89 meters. He's a quiet guy when you first meet him, but don't let that fool you. He's intense and he's motivated, and this year he hopes to break his own record. Let's give it a watch.
Here we go. Fantastic.
Well, the takeoff was a bit slack. The wind clipped the pier and that slowed me up. And that's what's cost me first prize today. I've still got the record and Ron's not going to beat that. And today, the record will have stood for 10 years. So I am the record holder for a long time.
Yes,
so
you are.
He's not going to take that away from me today.
At least one birdman came here with a secret weapon. He's got the other birdmen a little skittish, but the secret will be out soon enough. It may be his first time in the competition, but he's off to an innovative start with his homemade topless hang glider.
Duncan MacDonald.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Rayno in Cheshire. This is apparently a homemade hang glider made from broken hang gliders, but he did buy 3 nuts and bolts, he said.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is very painful up here. He's gaffer taping himself to this craft with bare legs.
There he goes. He's going.
What an upset! At 26.7 meters, Duncan MacDonald's topless design has come out of nowhere to soar into first place. Can he hold on to it? Only one more Birdman remains. but he's the master. Now this is Ron Freeman. He's got over 4,000 hours of experience as a hang glider pilot.
So I'm aware when we start climbing up the ramp to the platform, the wind's going to start picking up. And as the wind starts picking up and people on the beach see who's going to be flying next, as you get on top of the platform, you feel the wings starting to be affected by the extra wind when you get on top.
18 to 19 knots at the moment.
The last 2 years I've jumped in this sort of wind. I've managed 50 metres.
3, 4, 5.
So we'll see.
Been doing it.
But I need a good
Been
takeoff.
doing it 5 years and he's won 4 of those.
I can feel my heart rate going up from about 120 to about 180. And I've got to really calm things down at that point. And the kite becomes more alive. You're trying to steady the glider down. You're trying to steady yourself down. The noise is getting more off the spectators. You can't describe that feeling.
A little bit. Let it slide. Let it slide.
Get my chair there, here we go.
Looks like Ron Freeman is the winner, baby. Good stuff, my friend. Now, it looks like you won this competition. How far did you fly there?
I think it's about 38, 39 metres. When you look from the top, the ceiling's quite calm. When you're down there, there's 2 metre swells coming towards you.
Really?
And I went over the 3rd swell and I saw 2 seagulls going along the swell. So I tried to go along with it and the wave just hit me in the face.
Oh.
And that was it. So
That was it.
I could have flown an extra 13, 14 metres, I reckon.
Well, 37.69 meters seals it. No record, no jackpot prize this year, but still the day's best effort and the end to a great event.
Okay, we now have the winner of the magnificent flight, Mr. Ron Freeman.
Oh, he's had another good day at Birdman, Ron Freeman.
Well, the tide has gone out and the crowds have gone home, but the tide will be back and so will the Birdmen. We'll see you next time.
Next tonight, 2 hours of motorcycle mania is coming your way, starting with a look behind the scenes of one of the most successful production lines in the world, the Harley-Davidson. That's after the break.
The biggest Egypt week yet in 7 days.
And so our research into the perfect driving sensation
wash won't always clean grass stains completely, but in a normal wash, Persil will.
Blocked plug hole. New Harpic Power Jet clears it in 3 seconds flat. You might find it's quicker than a plumber.
The fun and sun in Thailand may call you back again. Come fly Thai to Thailand.
Planning to get broadband internet, then I'm here to help. Hello. No, you want to end your frustration with dial-up and get high-speed broadband internet, don't you? That's right.